What if I told you that the worst monsters in history weren't hiding under your bed, but were working inside government laboratories? Throughout the 20th century, under the shadow of the Cold War and national security, the CIA embarked on a series of secret experiments so horrific, so ethically broken, that they sound like the plot of a Hollywood horror movie. But these weren't movies. These were real people, real victims, and terrifying realities funded by American tax dollars. Welcome back to your channel name. Today we are opening the redacted files to reveal the horrifying secrets of CIA experiments you were never meant to know about. Brace yourself, because history is much darker than you think. Fast, grainy archival montage. Declassified stamped documents, glowing oscilloscope screens, black and white static, and faint reel-to-reel tape spins. Quick cut photos of CIA headquarters in Langley. SFX. Distorted radio frequency static, low ominous sub-bass hit. Narrator. When people talk about secret CIA experiments, your mind probably jumps straight to MKUltra. Mind control, LSD-laced drinks, and rogue psychiatrists. It sounds like dark fiction, but we know it happened because the documents were declassified. Here's the terrifying truth. MKUltra was just the tip of the iceberg. During the mid-20th century, the CIA operated with near total opacity and an unlimited black budget. Driven by Cold War paranoia, their scientists, intelligence officers, and recruited researchers pushed ethical limits past the point of no return. Today, we are diving into 4 of the most bizarre, disturbing, and lesser-known CIA projects that sound too insane to be real, yet exist in the US government's own records. We've all heard whisperings of Project MKUltra, the CIA's mind control program, but few know about its most sinister sub-project, Operation Midnight Climax. In the 1950s, the CIA set up safe houses in San Francisco and New York. They hired sex workers to lure unsuspecting men into these apartments. What the men didn't know was that the rooms were fitted with two-way mirrors, listening devices, and worst of all, high doses of LSD slipped into their drinks. For hours, CIA operatives sat behind soundproof glass, sipping bourbon, watching innocent citizens suffer horrifying hallucinogenic bad trips without their consent. The goal? To see if mind-altering drugs could be used as truth serums or psychological weapons. Many victims suffered permanent psychological damage, severe paranoia, and mental breakdowns, never knowing why their minds suddenly shattered. B-roll of a cute 1960s domestic cat walking down a cobblestone street near a park bench where 2 men in suits sit talking. SFX, playful, upbeat 1960s lounge music fades in, then abruptly cuts off with a record scratch. Narrator VO. In the 1960s, intelligence officers faced a massive problem. How do you eavesdrop on Soviet diplomats sitting on outdoor park benches or open courtyards without drawing suspicion? The CIA Directorate of Science and Technology had a wild idea: a biological listening device. Anatomy diagram of a cat transforming into a technical blueprint overlay. A microphone icon inside the ear, a transmitter at the base of the skull, and an antenna running down the tail. Narrator VO. Enter Operation Acoustic Kitty. Veterinary surgeons spent an entire hour operating on a live domestic cat. They implanted a tiny microphone inside its ear canal, a small radio transmitter at the base of its skull, and woven wire antenna beneath its skin and fur. The goal? A living, breathing spy, capable of wandering up to foreign diplomats unnoticed. Visual: archival 1960s Washington, D.C. street footage. Reenactment actor releasing a cat from a black van. Narrator VO. The CIA spent 5 years and an estimated $20 million developing the technology. Finally, in 1967 came the first field test in Washington, D.C. Agents parked a van across from a park, opened the door, and released Acoustic Kitty. Its target, 2 men sitting on a bench. The cat stepped off the curb, took 3 steps into the street, and was immediately struck and killed by a passing taxicab. Visual: declassified memorandum document zooming in on text. Cancelled. Narrator VO. The project was immediately abandoned. A declassified 1967 memo concluded dryly. The program would not serve in a practical sense our specialized needs. $20 million, destroyed in seconds by a DC cab driver. Before MKUltra, there was Project Artichoke. The question driving this project was simple, yet terrifying. Can we get control of an individual to the point where he will do our bidding against his will, even against fundamental laws of nature? To answer this, the CIA partnered with a notorious psychiatrist named Dr. Ewan Cameron. He developed a technique called psychic driving. Patients who walked into clinics for simple anxiety or depression were placed into drug-induced comas for weeks at a time. Then, Dr. Cameron forced them to listen to a single recorded message played on repeat, up to 500,000 times, through headphones wired to their ears. The result wasn't mind control, it was mind destruction. Victims completely forgot how to speak, lost their memories, and forgot who their own parents were. Their minds were wiped completely blank. Not all experiments focused on human minds. Some targeted nature itself. In the 1960s, the CIA launched a top-secret program known as Project Acoustic Kitty. The goal was to create the ultimate invisible spy, a live cat surgically altered with listening equipment. Veterinary surgeons spent an entire hour implanting a microphone into the cat's ear canal, a tiny radio transmitter at the base of its skull, and a thin wire antenna woven straight into its fur. Millions of dollars were spent turning a living creature into a biological surveillance device. But on its very first real-world test in Washington, D.C., the CIA released the cat to eavesdrop on two men sitting on a park bench. Seconds after stepping onto the street, the cat was struck and killed by a passing taxi. The multi-million-dollar cyborg spy program was abandoned shortly after. What if the CIA used American cities as testing grounds for biological weapons? Under projects like MKUltra, the CIA tested vector transmission and biological toxins. In several covert tests across the country, government agents released supposedly harmless bacteria into subway systems, airports, and city streets to see how fast a biological plague would spread through a civilian population. In San Francisco, a Navy ship sprayed bacterial clouds over the city for 6 days. Shortly after, local hospitals reported an unprecedented outbreak of severe bacterial infections, leading to the death of at least one patient and health complications for dozens. The public wasn't informed. In 1973, when the public and Congress began asking questions, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered most of the MKUltra and secret experiment files to be burned and destroyed forever. What we know today is only based on the few documents that survived by accident. This leaves us with one chilling question. If these are the horrifying experiments they were forced to admit, what are the experiments they successfully kept hidden from us? If you enjoyed this dark dive into history, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. What secret project shocked you the most? Stay curious, stay vigilant, and until next time, keep watching the shadows.